the mystery of Sumer, when the gods descended to earth. At the dawn of history, thousands of years before the birth of Christ, there existed a mysterious civilization along the banks of the Tigris and Euphrates. It was described as the first civilization on Earth. This was the Sumerian civilization, which thrived in southern Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, over 5,000 years ago. But what makes their story truly fascinating is not only their achievements, but also the secrets and enigmas that still puzzle scholars to this very day. The beginning. Where did the Sumerians come from? Imagine yourself 7,000 years ago. The desert is barren, life is simple, villages are few. Then suddenly, from nowhere, great cities rise with massive walls, towering temples, an advanced writing system, irrigation for agriculture, and complex laws governing society. The question that haunted historians: how did all this appear so suddenly? There was no gradual development leading to such sophistication. Some researchers believe that the Sumerians were not an ordinary people, but rather that they came from somewhere else, perhaps even from the sky. Uruk, the beating heart of Sumer. One of the most famous Sumerian cities was Uruk, believed to be the origin of the word Iraq. Here, the cuneiform writing system was born, and the earliest myths were carved into clay tablets, speaking of gods who descended from the heavens to teach mankind. These beings were called the Anunnaki, described as those who came down from the sky. They were said to have taught the Sumerians agriculture, astronomy, architecture, and even politics. But the real question is, were these merely myths, or did the Sumerians actually encounter mysterious beings? The tale of Enki and Enlil. Among the clay tablets discovered in ancient temples lies a dramatic story about two powerful gods: Enki, the god of wisdom and water, and Enlil, the god of authority and destiny. According to the legend, Enlil grew annoyed by the noise of mankind and decided to exterminate humanity by unleashing a great flood. But Enki, who cared for humans, secretly warned a man named Ziusudra, also known as Utnapishtim in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and instructed him to build a giant ark to save his family and all living creatures. Sound familiar? Indeed, this is almost identical to the biblical and Quranic story of Noah's flood, yet the Sumerian version was written thousands of years earlier. The ziggurats. Stairways to the sky. The Sumerians built colossal temples known as ziggurats, giant step towers that dominated their cities. These were not merely places of worship. Some scholars believe they were constructed as stairways between heaven and earth, where the Anunnaki could descend and ascend. One of the most famous ziggurats was built in Ur, the birthplace of Abraham. Interestingly, these structures closely resemble the legendary Tower of Babel described in holy texts. Could it be that ziggurats were not just temples, but landing sites for beings from the sky? Astronomical knowledge beyond their time. Among the greatest mysteries of the Sumerians was their extraordinary knowledge of astronomy. They charted the stars, identified the planets, and even described the solar system with surprising accuracy, including Pluto, which modern science only discovered in the 20th century. But the most astonishing claim is that they spoke of an additional planet called Nibiru, a massive world with a long orbit that brings it close to Earth every few thousand years. Some modern researchers speculate that the return of Nibiru is linked to prophecies about the Anunnaki's return. Were the Sumerians simply imaginative storytellers, or did they possess knowledge that we still have yet to uncover? The Epic of Gilgamesh. The quest for immortality. Perhaps the greatest treasure left by the Sumerians and later Babylonians was the Epic of Gilgamesh, the world's oldest known literary work. It tells the story of Gilgamesh, a mighty king who grew weary of death and set out to find the secret of eternal life. This journey took him through epic adventures, fighting monsters, meeting gods, and crossing the seas until he finally reached Utnapishtim, the man who had survived the Great Flood. Utnapishtim revealed that immortality was not meant for humans, but reserved for the gods. Still, fragments of other Sumerian texts suggest that some of the Anunnaki lived for thousands of years. Tao was Gilgamesh searching for a secret known only to those mysterious beings. The disappearance. Despite their greatness, the Sumerians vanished suddenly after a few centuries. Their cities weakened, their temples crumbled, and their markets fell silent. The reasons remain unclear. Was it war? Was it drought and desertification? Or did the Anunnaki simply leave, taking their knowledge with them? Most of what we know about Sumer came to light only in the 19th century, when archaeologists uncovered thousands of clay tablets. When these were translated, the world was confronted with a history so strange, it seemed almost unbelievable. Why is this story so thrilling? Because it blends proven history with unresolved mysteries. The world's first writing system, myths of a global flood, references to unknown planets, monumental constructions beyond explanation, tales of gods descending from the sky. All of this makes Sumer one of the most mysterious civilizations in human history. Even today, scholars ask, was it simply a brilliant human culture, or were the Sumerians connected to powers not of this earth? Conclusion: this is not just an ancient tale, it is an open mystery. The Sumerians gave humanity writing, law, agriculture, and astronomy, but left behind riddles with no answers. Perhaps one day, new discoveries will reveal that the history we know is only the beginning of a much larger story. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. See you next time.